There we are. And welcome to the movie Madhouse. I'm Rob.
I'm Jason.
Sorry.
And Mike. Dude, that's fine. We have Mike in sitting this week because of our topic. We talked about it last week. We're doing our film noir mystery category, and it's because of him right there that we're doing it. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It was an interesting topic. James sent his list, and it's interesting. But I even had a chore. Like when I was going through, I went through some stuff, and it's like, did I see that? So I had to go back and rewatch a bunch of stuff. So it actually spurred me to watch some things.
For me, it was more of do they quite fit the category and like how many? I was able to rattle off seven without even really putting too much work into it. So, I'm pretty confident in my list.
Yeah. How about your list, Mike?
Oh, I it was like I kept on thinking of new ones and stuff like that. Even at work, I would come up with two or three while I'm at work, and then I had to think, well, do I want that in my top 10 sort of thing?
Take this one off, put this one back. Yep.
Yeah. Shuffle it around again and change your mind.
Well,
That was me with last week's list.
yeah, no doubt. I looked up film noir, and this is the definition I got. The phrase film noir was first coined in 1946 by a group of French critics to describe the emerging movement of mainly black and white Hollywood films with dark, pessimistic themes and signature motifs such as alienated antiheroes, rain-slick streets, dark shadows, and seductive femme fatales. That's what film noir means. Got to do quotes.
hmm I didn't quite stick to the film noir. Kind of just broadened it to the mystery side of things because I've seen some noir. A couple of these are noir, but I had to broaden it in order to be able to fill out the full list. But everything is pre-80s, and everything has as some sort of a mystery motif to it. That's what I work.
Okay. Well, why don't we kick it off since Mike is our guest? Mike, what's your first number 10?
Number 10, I actually didn't actually stick to the pre 1980s.
Oh,
Sorry about that. I can do that, but I there's only two that is not pre 80s.
okay, we'll give you a pass this time.
Yes.
And my number 10, yeah, my number 10 is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, 2009 Swedish version.
Nice
Okay.
work.
Yeah, that one definitely fits.
It's I really like the whole plot, the whole story, sort of the way it goes and everything. I really like movies with subtitles and stuff like that. So like I could have done three or four foreign movies on this.
Well, and obviously it would fit because it says it's a French term, so obviously it started in a foreign film. Right. Okay. Well, we're glad we all. Jason, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is where I made the adjustment and I stole from James's list there.
Star Trek.
Because when I think about it, no, not Star Trek. But in the same vein, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Really?
To me, that's a very cerebral, mysterious sci-fi film because you don't fully grasp what they're searching for. Like it remains a mystery to me to this day. Exactly, we never did get answers even in the sequel. So.
Okay.
To me, it does kind of fit because there is a bit of a mystery to what's going on. So, again, it's a bit of a stretch, but
I can't argue the logic behind the thought, though. That fits. And then honestly,
It's a wondering movie sort of thing.
and it's a what's this? Oh, Glowin is back. First time, long time.
Ah,
He loves film noir. Bring the heat, fellas. Okay. Then are you ready for James's number 10? Star Trek the Motion Picture. I don't know what his thoughts were on this, and we will dig into that when he comes back. But
yeah, we'll have to get an explanation on that one.
yes, not quite sure. Mine was from 1950, called Night in the City. It's directed by Jules Dassin. I just like it because I love that old 50s style filming. You know, you can spot it a mile away because it's cheesy, but it's also very, very cool.
Night in the City. Okay.
I'm trying to think if I've seen it.
What? You haven't seen one? I thought you had seen them all.
I haven't. I've seen, like, this week I've seen 3 new movies that I've never seen before on Turner Classic. So, like,
Okay.
it seems like 2 of them were Yul Brynner movies because it was Yul Brynner's 100th birthday yesterday. So they had a whole batch of movies.
Well, let's see. This one lists Richard Widmark and Gene Tierney as the main leads. I didn't recognize anybody in it.
Richard Whitmark, I've seen a few of his.
Yeah, and just the byline for this one: a small-time grifter and nightclub tout takes advantage of some fortuitous circumstances and tries to become a big-time player as a wrestling promoter.
Oh yeah, I did see that one.
There we go.
Yeah, I did see that. Like, he has a big Russian guy.
Yes.
He tries to promote.
Yes. See, I knew you'd see.
I'm kind of shocked to hear that a movie from 1950 included wrestling as part of its premise. Like,
there is a few old movies that include wrestling.
wow.
There's
I didn't think wrestling was mainstream enough for that kind of coverage back then.
There's a Humphrey Bogart one, I believe, that he's a wrestling man. No, that was boxing. Sorry.
This might be another topic. Pre-1980 wrestling movies.
Or sports.
No, thank you.
Sports in general.
All right, Mike, number 9.
Number 9 is another one after 1980. It's called Crimson Rivers. It's a French movie, and Jean Reno is in it, or Jean Reno from The Professional.
Okay.
Jean Reno, yes.
Yeah, he's a Paris police investigator, and he is to special crimes sort of thing. And the first case he gets in the movie is a body 50 meters up the side of a cliff with no hands.
Okay.
And there's a sequel called The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, if you want to watch that as well. But it's a very twisting movie sort of thing.
Now that one looks good. Yeah, that looks good. And it got a 6.9 on IMDb, so that says a lot right there.
I can let you borrow it sometime, Rob.
Now we're talking. Jason, what do you got?
My number 9 is the first of 5 Alfred Hitchcock entries. Yeah, I like Hitchcock. Strangers on a Train from 1951.
Yep, I've seen that. It was just recently on.
I first saw that, actually, thanks to the show CSI. Because there was an episode where Grissom figured out that they were following the plot of Strangers on a Train, and it kind of got my interest, so I watched it way back when. It was engaging. it was, Hitchcock knows what he's doing. So there's just no denying it. I don't recognize the actors. I don't remember seeing much of them, but again, I haven't watched a whole lot of movies from that era. But it's the first. It's probably of all the Hitchcock films that I've seen. It's one of the weaker ones for me, but I still, for this genre, it's a really cool flick.
And that's impressive. It got an 8.0 on IMDb.
Well, you're not going to find any Hitchcock film below an 8 on IMDb.
Probably not. That's true. Man, that's a good one. I do remember that one. Okay, James had one, and it's cool because it's on my list too, called A Touch of Evil. Are you familiar with that one?
Yep.
Title's ringing a bell.
Yep. It's Charlton Heston, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Orson Welles.
Yes, it is. It has the best 3-minute opening scene I have seen in any film noir because it's all one shot. And it starts with a guy planting a bomb, and then he follows this car and these people as they kind of pace each other to the border, and then kind of wraps around, and then the car explodes. And this all happens in 3 minutes in the opening. Yeah.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
And that one got an 8.02. I didn't realize it was that high. Mine on this list is Kiss Me Deadly. I don't know if you guys have heard that. Mike must have.
Title's not ringing a bell.
You're going to have to see the poster.
It's about a detective called Mike Hammer.
Oh, it's a Mike Hammer film.
Yes, it is.
That was was that a book series, and then they started making films, like something along those lines?
I think it's like that. But this one, yeah, he picks up a hitchhiker, and as they're driving, their car gets pulled over. They get kidnapped, and Kelly, can you? A Touch of Evil is amazing. Must watch. It is, and I'm gonna just jump back to that one for a second because that's actually my number one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, A Touch of Evil. Just for the opening alone. But Kiss Me Deadly, it's he picks up a hitchhiker, they get pulled over and abducted, and then she gets killed. So he spends the rest of the movie trying to figure out who she was and why they wanted her, why they wanted her dead. And I have to say, this one that was not on my list until 2 days ago when I watched it for the first time.
Oh.
So I got to see some new movies in this one.
All right.
Okay, number 8. Mike, what do you got for us?
Number 8, Witness for the Prosecution. It's a British movie. Charles Laughton's in it. Marlene Dietrich, Tyrone Power. It's he's a barrister, and he's gets this murder case, and it's sort of a twisty sort of thing. It's not a film noir, but it's more a murder sort of who did it sort of thing. I was watching the first time I saw this. It was on TVO way back when they were doing Saturday Night at the Movies. Rob might remember this, and
I do.
And they said that the very ending of the movie, they said that when you talk to people about the movie, do not tell how the movie ends. It's it's a very good movie.
And it got an 8.4 on IMDb. That's amazing. Okay, that's going on my list.
Well, you got a hole?
No. It's going on my new list because now I'm going to watch more.
Okay.
Jason, what do you got?
My number 8 is another Hitchcock film, Shadow of a Doubt from 1943. This one, this most of these Hitchcock films I finally watched as part of my homework from the Madhouse. I hadn't watched enough Hitchcock, and I hadn't even heard of this one until I started doing this, and it's another really good one, but it doesn't have like Jimmy Stewart or Cary Grant or anybody. Like I didn't recognize the names. Teresa Wright and Joseph Cotton are the two main leads. But a young woman, she's visiting an uncle, but he may not be the man he seems to be. Uh, Her uncle Charlie, her name is Charlie as well. She's named after him. He's suspected of murdering, I believe, his wife. But there's another suspect as well, and the whole movie plays like did he or didn't he, and you start to see signs one way, and there's this like creepy friend of the uncle's where they spend nights hanging out together discussing the perfect murder. That's what these guys do. And I think in the end, even it's not 100% clear whether he did or didn't. No. Sorry, it is revealed. There is a clear answer, but it doesn't play out quite like how you expect it. Again, it's another classic Hitchcock, and that's why it's on my list.
See, I do remember that one. I thought it was great, but there is a name in there. He's a very young fella, but it's Hume Cronin. He's also from Cocoon. Batteries Not Included. He was married, I believe, to Jessica Tandy, and they would star in all their films together.
Okay. I know the guy you're talking about. I could not remember his name, but okay.
Oh, here we go. Glowen said Jean Tierney and Barbara Stanwyck are his favorite film noir actresses. Barbara Stanwyck is amazing because I recognize her from, was it Ponderosa? Or, oh, crap. It was a Western TV show. I do remember that much.
Big Valley?
Big Valley. That's the one. Yes. And then Kelly mentioned Billy Wilder directed it. Yeah, he directed A Touch of Evil. Joseph Cotton was in Citizen Kane and The Third Man. Oh, that's who he's from. Okay. So from Shadow of a Doubt, Joseph Cotton was in Citizen Kane and The Third Man.
Okay.
That's where I recognize that.
All I know is, what I remember really distinctly about him is he played it very, 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 very smooth. Like there was no hint at all one way or the other, and until things play out near the end of the film. Like
yeah.
He played it just creepy enough to give you that, okay, he did it, and then you see something else happen, and okay, maybe he didn't. Like played it really, really well.
Hume also co-wrote Rope and starred in Hitchcock's Lifeboat. Rope? I don't know that.
Yeah, Rope is a Hitchcock movie as well, I believe. And I think it's Jimmy Stewart is in it.
Yes. Dick Hogan, John Dow. Where is he? James Stewart. There he is. Yep. What is this one? Two men attempt to prove they committed the perfect crime by hosting a dinner party after strangling their former classmate to death. Now that sounds cool.
Hey, we killed a guy. Let's have a party.
That sounds cool. Touch of Evil. Oh my God. Yeah, sorry, Kelly. You're right. Touch of Evil was directed by Orson Welles. Billy Wilder did Witness. Which one was Witness? Or wait, was that one that we mentioned? Hang on, go back on my list. Witness for the Prosecution. There we go. That was directed by Billy Wilder. Okay, now we're caught up. Oh, no, we're not. One more. Rope is Hitchcock film with one take filming.
Really?
Really?
Hitchcock did a one take.
It's in one room. If I remember it correctly, it's been a while since I've seen that one. But it all takes place in one room.
That is going on my list right now. Because I love that. Okay, now we have James's. What are we at? Number 8.
Yep.
1962, To Kill a Mockingbird. Gregory Peck. And is there anybody else in that one?
Yeah, David. Oh, geez.
David. Oh, geez. I don't see him listed here. Robert Duvall's in it.
Yeah, Robert Duvall. Sorry.
There we go. Atticus Finch, a lawyer in the Depression-era South, defends a black man against an undeserved rape charge and his children against prejudice. I gotta confess, I've never seen that.
It's a good movie.
It's
Again, that's a well-known title. It's legendary, but never watched it.
Yeah, it's a staple.
Never read the book.
And it's got an 8.2, but I sadly have not seen it. Now I feel really bad. Man. Okay, the next one for me is also one that I did not see until yesterday, and it's called Detour. And where is it here? Chance events trap hitchhiker Al Roberts in a tightening net of film noir trouble. Basically, there's a guy trying to hitchhike across the country to get to his girl in California. A guy picks him up, and as they're traveling, he's resting while he's driving, the hitchhiker's driving, and the guy dies. Okay, except when he opens the door, the guy falls out and hits his head on a rock, so he thinks he killed him.
Oh.
So he starts to panic, he hides the body, and then takes off, and then, shenanigans ensue. And I'd never heard of it. When I was trying to find one of the other ones, I just wanted to rewatch it to double check it. I found a channel and it had a film noir category. So this came up and I watched it and it's like, this was really, really good. So 1945, if you get a chance, it's definitely worth the watch. And with that, on to number 7. Mike, what you got?
Actually, I made a mistake. I had 3 over the 80s, but this is just slightly over the 80s. And
That's it. Strike 3.
He just lied to us.
It's Murders in the Rue Morgue. It's George C. Scott. It's Edgar Allan Poe short story. Detective gets asked by his niece, I believe, to clear her husband or boyfriend of these murders that are strange, or this murder that's strange because there's only one at that time. And he goes to investigate, and the body of the woman is brutally beaten up, but the door's locked, the window's closed, and nothing's stolen.
Oh, it's one of those mysteries.
Yep.
And you said George Scott's in it?
George C. Scott's in it. It's 1986.
Can't find that one here. I was trying to find the actual year, so I was looking it up, but it's got it listed as The Murders in the Rue Morgue. That's why. Okay. 1886. Oh, where'd it go? I just want to check what the IMDb rating is on that one. 5.8. Ooh. For some reason, Rebecca De Mornay's in it too. Val Kilmer?
Sure you didn't find a remake, maybe?
Oh, it's definitely a remake because there's 2 others. One from 1935 with Bela Lugosi and one from 1971 with Jason Robard.
I don't remember the other 2. I just remember the George C. Scott one.
I'm curious about the
Val Kilmer is real young in it. I think he's just like 20 years old or something like that. Or he could be the young boy. I think there's...
Now I'm curious. Okay, Jason, what have you got for us?
Okay, now this one doesn't quite fit the mold, but it was on the list of mystery films that I was using from Wikipedia to get through this. But thinking about it more, it doesn't quite fit, but it's on my list. So, Bullet, 1968, starring the man Steve McQueen.
Gotcha. I know that one.
Got one of the best car chases in film history.
Exactly.
But I'm really pushing the limits of the mystery category and all. But
Push two because he's
yeah,
on my list.
but McQueen was just the man. Like, there's no denying it. Steve McQueen was a phenomenal actor. I've seen probably at least a half a dozen different films of his in my lifetime, and every single one he's blown me away. This one, he's all guts, no glory. I'm reading the IMDb synopsis because I butcher it. All guts, no glory. San Francisco cop becomes determined to find the underworld kingpin that killed the witness in his protection. It's friggin' badass.
1970, or sorry, 7.4 on IMDb too.
Yep. McQueen, he deserves higher. Damn it.
Yes, he did. Oh my God, that's so weird. I'm writing out the list so that I can publish it later. And I wrote Bullet, and I put 1968. And then I realized it was wrong. It was already underlined. I went back and I hit the suggestion, and it suggested the ITT.
Okay.
What kind of spell check?
It recognizes the film title.
It's gotta. That's crazy.
Because you put the date on the end of it, it recognizes it as a film title. That's
an amazing spell check right there. I'm afraid right now. Computer.
It's all in the algorithm, man.
Well, James gave us one from 1978, starring Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase, called Foul Play.
Oh, yes.
I saw this once, a billion years ago. A shy San Francisco librarian and bumbling cop fall in love as they solve a crime involving albinos, dwarves, and the Catholic Church. Like, how can you go wrong, right? That's got everything.
You had me at Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn, so
I really have nothing to say after that. Well, then my number 7, if that's what we're at, yes, there it is,
7.
Is an Alfred Hitchcock movie, Dial M for Murder.
I have not watched that one. I know of it.
Oh,
that's not one of the ones I watched.
Grace Kelly's in there.
You see, that one would have been on my list, except for you sort of know everything as it's going on, sort of thing. Like there's no.
It's a mystery in reverse, because the first half hour of the movie is this guy hiring a guy to kill his wife and telling you how he's going to disguise it as a break-in. And then the last hour of the movie is him doing it, and then the detective unraveling everything they put into place. So yeah, Mike's 100% right. There is no mystery. There's zero mystery, other than the fact, like, how is the cop going to solve this? That's it. But man, it is so good.
Yeah, it is a good one. I tend to watch that one when it's on, and I usually once a year sort of thing.
That one got an 8.2 on IMDb, so definitely worth the watch. And with that, we're on to number 6. Mike, what do you got for number 6?
I got a movie called Cover Up. It's a 1949 movie. It's about a assurance claim man that goes to a small town to there's a sort of suicide, quote, quote, and he's just doing the paperwork sort of thing, but the gun's missing. There's no powder on the head where he shot himself. It's sort of, and the town is not helping him whatsoever, and even the police is dragging their feet.
Interesting.
It's no, I don't think there's any big actors in it. It's Dennis O'Keefe and William Bennix. Bennix has always been like a second or third string actor.
They got a 6.6 on IMDb, so that's not bad. It sounds similar.
Outsider comes into a small town, and okay.
It sounds similar to one that I've got on my list. So we'll compare when we get there. Jason, what do you got?
We're back to Hitchcock again.
Yay!
1954's Rear Window.
That is a great.
Yeah, James Stewart.
James Stewart. You know, back when he was James, he wasn't Jimmy anymore. He was James. And yeah, like again, James Stewart, he was the man in his era. He's one of those actors that just can hold you. Doesn't matter what he's playing, he just gets your attention. He's got that charisma. So with him being, debilitated in a wheelchair and, all that, just, such a good film.
Now, mind you, it doesn't hold a candle to Disturbia. So just throwing that out there.
Trying to poke you in the eye.
Yeah.
I know what he's trying to do. Trying to get rid of me. No, man, I love Rear Window, and I hated the way they twisted it for Disturbia. But
I never watched it.
It's not bad, but you can tell what they're trying to do, and you can tell how badly they're doing it. So, there you go. Best American Actor, James Stewart versus Tom Hanks, and go.
No, can't do it. No, I refuse.
I'm not going to walk through that minefield.
That's no. Two different icons from two different eras. You can't compare. They're both going to be on the Hollywood Mount Rushmore. So
that would be awesome. Well, James brought us a film from 1940 called Rebecca. A self-conscious woman juggles adjusting to her new role as an aristocrat's wife and avoiding being intimidated by his first wife's spectral presence.
That's another Hitchcock film.
And yes, it is.
It's not on my list.
Laurence Olivier, Joan Fontaine, Judith Anderson. So there's a couple names in there I know.
I just know when I set out to watch the Hitchcock films that I did, I talked to a couple of people who were a little bit more adept at Hitchcock films, and they did mention Rebecca, but they also said it was kind of one of the weaker ones in their opinions, so I didn't watch it.
I gotta admit, I've not seen it. I just realized there are so many in this category I've not seen. I've heard of, and I've had people tell me about it, but I've not watched them. I've got homework. Lots and lots of homework. Okay, well, mine is the one that was very, very close to yours, Mike. It's called The Killers. A brand new actor stars in this one named Burt Lancaster. Ava Gardner's in it. Burt Lancaster?
Yeah, he's new in that.
Kidding.
Sorry.
But this one, it says, hitman kill an unresisting victim, and investigator Reardon uncovers his past involvement with beautiful, deadly Kitty Collins. This is the one where it's the same thing. They two killers come into town, and it's interesting because it was based on a short story by Ernest Hemingway. And only the opening is the short story. Everything after that is made up for the movie. So these two killers come into town. They're asking about this guy, the Swede. They figure out where they is, and they go and kill him. And then the actual movie starts where they start to investigate why these people came into town, what was the connection, and they build these amazing backstories for this guy called the Swede. Really good movie. Really good. Cool. And that one got 7.8. So, man, like these are getting high scores. We're at number 5. And for number 5, Mike, what have you got?
Lady in the Lake. It's a 1943 movie. And this is a totally different movie than any. Well, I think they tried it again later on, and what they did was, you are the detective. The camera is the detective, and you're seeing through the camera's eye, sort of thing. And so when you look down, you see the hands of the camera, sort of thing. And there's when you look in the mirror, you actually see the actor that is speaking, sort of thing. He gets hired to find out from this publisher about his wife, and then things sort of happen where he gets accused of murder. He walks into a dead body, and the police are after him, and everything, sort of thing. Is really good movie to watch, just on the aspect of something new film thoughts.
So it's a first-person perspective?
Yeah, it's a first-person perspective. And there's no cutaway scenes, so you see somebody else somewhere else. You're seeing what he sees. He gets in a car accident, and the camera goes like the head, sort of thing.
Yeah. The camera shows Philip Marlowe's view from the first person in this adaptation of Raymond Chandler's book. The detective is hired to find a publisher's wife who is supposed to have run off to Mexico, but the case soon becomes much more complicated as people are murdered. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I got to see that one.
That's an interesting coincidence.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not, well, no, and I'll explain. For my number 5.
Yes.
It's a Philip Marlowe film.
Oh, really?
Yes. 1946 is The Big Sleep.
Yep.
Where Humphrey Bogart plays Marlowe.
Yep.
That almost made it onto my list.
It almost made it onto mine.
I've only seen 3 Bogart films, and that's one of them.
Just pick only one Bogart movie, sort of thing. Because
I have Bogey listed twice, so but The Big Sleep is, again, it's another actor who was just he was cool. He was a cool badass. Like, you didn't mess with Bogey. You know, that's just the attitude that he carried in every role that I've seen. And The Big Sleep it's a classic noir. It is full on noir. And I'm getting them mixed up. Who was the female lead in The Big Sleep with him?
Lauren Bacall.
Lauren Bacall, yes. Like, fantastic duo. You know, they play so well together. You know, you can't lose with Bogey if you want some just good classic gumshoe noir like that. You go for Bogart. Come on, man.
7.9 on IMDb. That is a good one. We have Hassan here says hi. Oh, here's another one. I am Kurt in Iraq, I'm guessing. Well, hello. And I hope you're enjoying the show. Apparently, we're all over the place. Kind of like our topic.
Madhouse is everywhere.
That's right. James's was one that Jason mentioned earlier, Shadow of a Doubt. So these things, you know, when they're good, they're good. Now, mine.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, so your audio just got louder for a second. It's fine now, but for a second it got really loud.
I just really had something to say that second, but it's okay now. Mine is actually from 1949, and I knew the one that I love. It's got Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan in it, and I love that film. You know, I didn't realize it was a remake when I very first watched it. I come to find out later, so I went back and saw the original, and it's DOA.
I knew that as soon as you said who it was. Yep. I never watched the original either. I've only seen the Dennis Quaid one. So,
to me, you know, there's no better line in a movie going, there's been a murder. Well, who was murdered? I was. It's like, what? Wait. Like,
Yep.
where else can you hear that?
And then, but when you have that premise, okay, I know I've been poisoned. The clock is ticking. You know, it was such a neat idea.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I know it's not nearly the same genre, but that's what I like when that kind of concept can work in multiple different genres. Because the movie Crank with Jason Statham steals that, where he's got basically a ticking time bomb, and that concept just works.
It does. It puts the strain of time on a film,
Yeah.
But yeah, 7.3 in IMDb, definitely worth the watch.
Okay.
Now, number 4. Mike, what you got?
Number 4, I always keep on pushing my talk button when I'm playing my video game. That's what. Anyways, my number 4, like some of the movies I've been saying are based off of books. This is based off a book. It's called The Thin Man with William Powell and Myrna Loy. It's a 1934 movie. He's he marries he's married to a rich woman. He's a police detective, so he's retired, and I think his niece asks him to investigate her father being missing.
What's it called?
The Thin Man.
Oh, yes.
And if you're going to watch that, you may as well watch the rest of them.
Oh, this is a series, is it?
Yeah. And you see Jimmy Stewart in one of them.
Oh.
Well, he just hooked me because now I have to watch him.
And if you want to borrow him, Rob, I got the whole set.
Perfect.
There's a weekend.
Right? I'm good with that. And I'm going to jump to number 1 for James because that's his number 1.
Oh, really?
The Thin Man. Yep.
All right.
Very nice. What did that get? 8.0 on IMDb. Like, we're nailing them with these ones. Like, they are good.
I've heard of that. Like, I've heard that title, but I've not heard much about it. So.
Oh, hang on here. I just realized I missed a comment. Glowin said here, Mike is like Doc Gooden throwing heaters. Look at that.
You should see what's on my long list.
No doubt. Jason, what's your number 4?
We're back to Hitchcock again. 1958's Vertigo. Again, Jimmy Stewart being Jimmy Stewart at his best. And Vertigo just messes with your head a little bit. And, for as simple as they were, the visual effects that he did to portray the Vertigo, like the intensity that he was feeling, just it was almost terrifying at times, the way how well they played it.
Kim Novak is also in that.
Pardon me for 1 second.
And it got an 8.3. That's high.
Yeah, there's so much good camera stuff, techniques and angles and stuff in that movie that it really is a great movie. That would be my, like, every Hitchcock, Sherlock Holmes movie and Agatha Christie movie would be 11, 12, and 13.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are so powerful murder mysteries. And
well, the one that I got for number 4, I actually found, this is the second one that I watched brand spanking new, and it made it to number 4 for me. Oh, so sorry, James. James's is my number 2, The Maltese Falcon. That's another.
My number 2 as well.
Is it? Yeah. Well,
yes,
okay. We'll
that
get
is
to
my number 2. It was almost my number 1.
We will talk about it when we get to your number 2 then.
All right.
My number 4 is one called 1950 called Woman on the Run. And again, I'd never heard of this. And I was just going through that film noir section and thought, that's kind of a neat title. Clicked on it. And it's about a guy who witnesses a murder at the very beginning, gets shot at. So the police come up to him and go, "You're going to get to testify." He's like, "Okay, let me just get my dog." And he turns around and poof, he disappears. And now for the rest of the movie, the police are following his wife, who's trying to find him with a reporter. And they're going all over the place, trying to track down her husband. It's bizarre.
That sounded confusing.
Yeah.
What year was that, Rob?
19. Oh my gosh, where is my? Hang on, I lost my cursor. There it is. It is 1950.
Trying to remember if I've seen it or not.
Nobody in it I recognize. Ann Sheridan plays basically the lead with Dennis O'Keefe, and then Robert Keith is the inspector. So I would say, the witness is important, but you only see him at the beginning and the end, so not really. But it's definitely worth a watch. Oh, here we go. Glowin says, "I wasn't prepared when I saw Vertigo. I recently rewatched it in my 40s. It messes with your head. It really, really does."
But that's what Hitchcock is known for. So
Exactly. But no, if you get a chance, definitely check out Woman on the Run. Just as a cold watch. It's really good. And back to Mike now. Number 3.
Number 3, I put Bullet. So we can
nice.
we discussed this.
Yeah, that does sound familiar.
It just made number 3. I was just going, yeah, this would fit here, sort of thing. I can watch that over and over and over.
That car chase alone, like we were saying, it is iconic.
I just like Steve McQueen and his movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's an old war one. I don't know if you know. It's with and they're holding a thin line. I can't remember the name. I'm going to have to bring that up some other time or tell. But
I've only seen 2 other McQueen movies that I distinctly remember: The Great Escape and Papillon.
What is the one where he's a thief? Oh, geez, that was just on. Anyways, I'll get back. You got to watch the one where he's a thief.
Where he's a thief?
He plans crime, and other people take and do the crime, sort of thing.
Oh wait, the Thomas Crown Affair?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
love the remake with Pierce Brosnan.
Yep.
I always forget that was a remake, and I didn't know McQueen was in the original. So yes, I do need to watch that.
I do remember that one. That is a good one. Okay, Jason, number 3.
The last of my Hitchcock entries, North by Northwest.
I haven't seen
Now, that one you can't predict anything about that movie. Like it keeps shifting directions a little bit, and you're not quite sure as to exactly what's going on. But that one stars Cary Grant, not Jimmy Stewart. And it's quite possibly the only film I've ever seen with Cary Grant, to be honest.
1959, 8.3.
1959. Like I said, you're not going to find very many Hitchcock films below an 8.
Yeah.
For a reason. And North by Northwest will keep you guessing.
And Martin Landau's in that as well.
Yep, I do recall.
And Eve Marie Saint.
I went through, I think I watched, 6 or 7 Hitchcock films in a very short period of time.
You're binging Hitchcock, huh?
I was.
Hmm.
And that's not a bad binge, by the way. Just to be clear. You can't lose with just diving into the Hitchcock library.
Well, one thing about that movie is Cary Grant in it. He's such a great actor in anything he plays.
Again, that's the only thing I've seen him in, but yeah, he was fantastic. Hitchcock knows how to cast.
Oh yeah, that's why he's. You said he's a lot on here, and I've got a couple on here, and he is almost. When you think film noir, you almost think his films first. I think.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Glowen said no one mentioned Gilda yet. Gilda almost made my list. It was on my list until I watched Woman on the Run, and then it got bumped.
I don't know that one.
And then Cary Grant in An Affair to Remember really messed me up emotionally. I gotta admit, I think I know that film, but I don't remember if I'm remembering the right film. If that makes sense.
It doesn't ring any bells for me.
Let me see. James had 2001, A Space Odyssey.
That's where I stole it from.
Yep. And my number 3, and it's cool because I used to watch a TV show called My Three Sons. And I fell in love with that show. Because when I was young, Channel 62 used to broadcast all these old classics like Dagwood and Blondie, Francis the Talking Mule, all these classics. And My Three Sons was on there. So Fred McMurray, I kind of just started watching. And then this movie I got to see called Double Indemnity. And it kind of shattered my My Three Sons dad image of Fred McMurray. He plays an insurance representative. Here goes. An insurance representative lets himself be talked by a seductive housewife into a murder insurance fraud scheme that arouses the suspicion of an insurance investigator. This one's got Barbara Stanwyck in it.
It's got Edward G. Robertson in it too.
Yep. And this one is directed by Billy Wilder. You're seeing a lot of the same names for these too.
Yeah, a lot of good directors.
Okay, now on to number 2. Mike, your number
Well,
2.
you're not going to believe that. My number 2 is The Maltese Falcons.
What? And mine?
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's number 2.
Here's 2.
I swear I watch this once or twice a year.
I love that film.
Mark Bogart in this.
It's Bogey. Come on. It's Sam Spade. It just
Sam Spade.
Hell's yes. And when the term film noir comes up, Maltese Falcon has to be like for true film noir. Maltese Falcon is the pinnacle. Okay, you don't get no more noir than the Maltese Falcon. Period.
I gotta agree with you.
Like for true noir, you got Maltese Falcon. It starts there.
I gotta ask everybody, if this is the case and the Maltese Falcon is the creme de la creme of film noir, why do we all have it as number 2?
See, I wasn't strictly sticking to film noir. I went mystery. I broadened the scope a bit. So my number one isn't exactly noir.
Okay.
But, okay, I had broadened my scope. I had to.
Then we'll jump to James's number 2, which is one from 1963 called Charade, with Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn, Walter Matthau, James Coburn, George Kennedy. Like, ooh, lots of names.
Yeah. That didn't make it on my list, though.
Romance and suspense ensue in Paris as a woman is pursued by several men who want a fortune. Who is pursued by several men who want a fortune her murdered husband had stolen. Whom can she trust? Bum, bum, bum.
It was remade, too.
You know what I get a kick? What really put a smile on my face, hearing this, and when I was going through my list, is I can almost guarantee you that almost every movie we've named, especially of the 30s to 50s era, the poster for these movies is probably on the wall at Glitters.
Yeah, I bet you it is.
Because I recognize a lot of these titles from a poster at Glitters.
I bet you any money.
And I love that.
I wonder if the owner really likes the film noir. No, he has some westerns there too.
It's just a lot of films from that era, the 30s to the 50s. That's all the posters they have. And I recognize a lot of these films from the titles from these posters.
Well, Glowin chimed in on his number one, Double Indemnity. So, Mike, what's your number one?
My number one is In the Heat of the Night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like Sidney Poitier and
Mr. Tibbs.
I admit I forgot about that film.
That was Poitier's name, right? Mr. Tibbs, right?
yeah, the whole story, the history. So some of these movies I like because you see a lot of history sort of things in the background, the cars, the lamps, the pay phones, or the pinball machines or whatever that you see in the background, or the topics or whatever that's going on while you watch the murder or whatever.
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Rob.
I was going to kind of chime in on that because I love watching this stuff. Like when I was watching The Killers, it's like, okay, well, call the police. So he picks up the phone, he leans in, he goes, yes, give me Brentwood 55263. And it's like nobody does that anymore. So it's just, that time capsule-esque, look at that period. And okay,
yeah,
so
that stuff makes it. Oh yeah, when you get a film that you can call it dated, but it is a snapshot back to a different way of life, basically.
Yeah.
When you look at some of these older films, and you say, well, why didn't they just call the police? Well, they didn't have cell phones and whatnot. They can't just call the police. You have to find a telephone.
Sometimes he had to send somebody for the police because
or send people. Yeah, even before telephones.
The one that I watched, oh crap, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of it now. Detour, about the hitchhiker. There's a part in that, if they went to do a remake, would have to be completely rewritten for a completely different reason. Halfway along the way, he ends up picking up a woman who realizes he's not who he says he is. So she starts to blackmail him. Well, they're in a hotel room and she's drunk and that's it, I'm calling the police. And he's trying to get her to stop. She grabs the phone, runs into the other room and locks the door. But she's drunk. So when she rolls on the bed, the cord goes around her neck. And he grabs the cord underneath and goes, give me back the phone. And he's pulling and he ends up killing her. How would you can't do that now?
No.
So again, to modernize it would be to rewrite that entire scene.
It takes me back.
You couldn't even
go ahead, mate. Go ahead.
You couldn't even do the scene sort of thing. Like, how are you gonna? Like, he would have to maybe fall out of a window or something. But even that is pretty hard to do with the safety glass on the window.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Too many.
Which I've seen a movie where the woman falls out of the window and dies.
See, too much safety measures nowadays. Just can't happen. Jason.
I'm not going to stay there. I do want to say, though, I found it fascinating last year when we did the production of Little Shop of Horrors, because that's set back, I think it's set in the 50s or something. I can't exactly remember. But they needed some old-style rotary telephones. And they managed to get 3 or 4 from various people. And we actually plugged like 3 of them in, and they still worked.
One of my best friends had one that she uses all the time at her house.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it sits up on a shelf.
All right, so my number one, again, this is full-on mystery, and it is arguably considered one of the greatest films of all time.
Star Wars?
Citizen Kane.
Oh, that's the other
1941, Orson Welles, Citizen Kane. Just that movie just it, if you're gonna make a movie, you need to watch Citizen Kane to see how to make a movie.
Yes. Any
Okay.
Wells movie so is that way, I feel.
I haven't seen too
Man,
many of Orson Welles' films, but I watched Citizen Kane. That was like the first of the classics that I had to watch because the Madhouse. You guys got on my case about having not seen classics, so that was the very first one I watched. When
What?
I got on that trip, when I got on the I got to catch up on some classics. Citizen Kane was the first one I went to, and it did not disappoint. I've kicked myself for a long time. Why did I wait 44 years, I think it was, when I finally watched it? Why did I wait that long? You cannot lose watching Citizen Kane. It is an engaging story. Yeah, okay. Nowadays, everybody knows Citizen Kane, and you know the reveal. You know what was going on. But to watch the film, if you take that out of your head, that movie will hold you right to the end. The mystery won't be obvious to you, and you're just you're in for a treat. You're in for a fantabulous. I'm going to call it that. A fantabulous ride. Orson Welles was acted his ass off while making a phenomenal film.
When I went to university, I was studying film. That was literally the first film we had to watch.
Good. It should be.
Yep. And we watched it 3 times throughout the year. So yes.
I think my son Tally had a music and films class, and I think they had that was one of the films that was on the list that they had to watch for its scoring or something.
Mm. It is really good. I like how it begins with the end and then yeah. Well, the last two are kind of anticlimactic because we've already discussed them. James's was the 1934 The Thin Man, and mine, as I said earlier, was 1958's A Touch of Evil, also by Orson Welles.
I need to watch that. I definitely need to watch that movie.
Rosebud.
Now, here's the kicker. I knew about Citizen Kane and I knew what the reveal was long before I ever saw the movie, mostly because of, do you remember Animaniacs?
Yes.
yes.
They did a little parody of it at one point, and that's how I knew.
I don't think I've ever seen that, but now I got to look that up for sure.
It's all on Netflix.
I love the Animaniacs.
They're supposed to be doing new ones.
The Animaniacs are on Netflix?
I'm pretty sure the entire Animaniacs run is on Netflix. At least it was. It was a little while ago.
Bring it back. Okay, I'll wait till the show's over.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, and the show's over. Actually, it kind of is. That's our top 10.
Yes, it is.
That is our top 10. Mike, thanks so much for the topic because that was fun. I got to watch some movies I'd literally never seen. I got to revisit some that I hadn't seen in forever. And got to find out about a few more that I now have to check out.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I Touch of Evil. I'm definitely gonna try and squeeze that in sometime this week.
Honestly, if you go onto YouTube and type in Touch of Evil opening, you get to see the 3-minute opening, and that alone is just crazy.
Oh, I want to see the whole movie. Damn it!
Yeah, that's a nice
I don't want to tease. I want the whole thing.
Come on, just a tease.
No, I don't want your little sample spoon there, Mr. Ice Cream Parlor.
First one's free. Come on. Alrighty. Well, in that case, for another week at the Movie Madhouse, I'm Rob.
I'm Jason.
Good.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. Go ahead.
After you, Jason.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Mike.
There we go. We will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
No, you got to say toodles. James always says toodles.